What's up, guys? I'm gonna be showing you probably my top 10 favorite movies, and they're really broad in range from what kind of movie they are. You know, some are horror films, um, others are comedies, and others are like serious dramas. So some of these movies you may not like, you've seen before, and some of them you probably haven't seen before at all. In fact, I think one of them you probably haven't. I mean, hardly anyone has. So I'll start with that one actually. The first one is Five People You Meet in Heaven, starring Jon Voight. And in this movie, there's a man who works as a handyman, a janitor, in a carnival by the ocean. And basically, he lives his whole life. You don't know a lot about him, and he's near dying. He's old, you know, and he's just weary of his job. He's tired of doing it, and eventually there's an accident involving one of the equipment, the rides, and a little girl is about to be smashed by the ride, and he saves her. And you don't know really what happens because you see him die for the girl, but you don't know if he lives or she lives or dies. So pretty much the whole movie is him. He dies. He goes to heaven, and he has to meet five people he had a great influence on, and whether he knew it or not, you know, five people that were very important to his life, throughout his life, and it's a very sad movie. Not a very high budget, but it's still good. And it's just I remember watching this when I was in high school, near the end, senior year when I was leaving to join the military, and it's just really sad. It makes you think about your life, and you know sometimes life can get you down, and you kind of get confused at what your own worth is. But when you watch this movie, you'll see that you may not know it, but um, you you do have a reason to be here. And this movie is really good. Jon Voight does a really good job, and the ending is really a heartfelt, and it's a really sad movie. But definitely, I'd suggest check it out. The next one is a horror movie. It's a Japanese horror movie, and this movie it's not uh, terribly gory until the end parts, which even then it's more of a trick on the mind. And basically, it's Audition. It's a very creepy movie. It can be boring because it's really drawn out. Because you want to, it kind of gets this guy, it gets him close to this girl he meets after his wife dies, and basically, once this relationship, they get closer and closer, and she's crazy, because there's this one scene where she's staying in her little cottage, and she's on her knees, slumped over, and she's just sitting by a phone in the quiet with her head, hanging down, and she's just like, it's just creepy, like she's just sitting there, and when he calls her, you just see her head slowly raise up, and you're like, whoa, you know. And basically, the ending of this is just insane. Um, you really feel bad for the guy, and I'm not gonna spoil what happens. But it's. I'm not even saying he could live, he could die, but it's whatever happens to him is really bad, you know. And dying isn't always the worst thing that can happen. So I'll leave it at that. And oh yeah, let me say another thing. There's this one dream sequence where the guy goes into the girl's house. He's dreaming, and he sees this burlap sack, and it starts to move, and he's like, "What the hell?" And he unknots it and unties it, and shrinks back because it starts moving again. And this dude comes out, right, wearing like a freaking toga diaper or something, and he's like, his mouth is sewn shut, and one of his eyes kind of cut open, and he has one hand, and the other is like a stub, like it got cut off, and then he has no legs, and the thing, he kind of opens his mouth and throws up through the little stitches. It's just gross. It's so gross, and that is very messed up, very scary. But definitely, if you're into horror films, check it out. The next one, it's a pretty much a classic to me, starring Michael Keaton. It's Beetlejuice, Tim Burton's Beetlejuice. Love this movie. It's just, I don't know. If you've seen it, you know. I mean, you love it. And Michael Keaton is crazy because Michael Keaton is only in about 20 minutes of the movie when you think about it. Even though it's titled Beetlejuice, he's only in 20 minutes and he just steals the whole movie. And it's really good. It's got a couple of cool songs in it. But yeah, it's really good. Next one is this came out in '09, I think, and it's Kick-Ass. Really like this movie, especially when it came out. I saw it like 3 times. It's about a guy when he's a teenager, and he basically wonders why the comic book heroes aren't real, and why anyone hasn't tried to dress up in costume. Whereas in the alternate storyline, there's like these two, it's Big Daddy and Hit Girl, and they have this like duo team, and they're actually taking care of business while this guy's dreaming it up, wearing this ridiculous costume and going out and getting his ass kicked, basically. And the guy from Superbad, McLovin, is in this too. I didn't really like his character, but definitely I'd say the coolest one was Hit Girl and Big Daddy. They really make the movie, and it's really good. Really surprisingly violent because I thought it was mainly just a comedy, but it's really good. Oh, this one's a good one. Shaun of the Dead. Basically, it's in London, and this guy, his girlfriend breaks up with him, and then his best friend takes him to a bar, and they try to drink their problems away, as most of us do. But yeah, like that night when they're drinking, you know, his friend Ed's like, I'm not gonna bombard you with cliches, you know, and tell you, you know, this or that, but it's not the end of the world, and that's a huge cliche. And then basically the zombie just hits the door, and just like from then on, it's them not realizing that there's a zombie apocalypse, like stuff happening around them, and they're too concerned with their own life to realize it till halfway through the movie. Then they start realizing it, and it turns. It's really funny. It's really good. If you like zombie films, definitely watch this. Okay, this one's a serious drama. Just like Five People You Meet in Heaven, I put this one right beside that one in terms of how sad it is and touching. It's starring Robin Williams. It's What Dreams May Come. Very sad movie. It's a guy, he gets in a car accident, and he dies, and he goes to heaven, and he slowly gets used to it, you know, looking forward to his wife getting there when her end is met, and basically when he finally reaches his happiness, kind of, he finds out from this guy that, you know, his wife died, and so at first he's, you know, heart struck, you know, his wife died, so he feels down, kind of sad, and so then he's like, you know, it's okay because now we can be together forever, and the guy says, oh, well, no, I'm sorry, you can't, and he says, why? He says, well, she killed herself. That's something you can't take back, and then Robin Williams says, well, where is she? And he says, well, she went to hell, you know, a place where people go that take their life, you know. And it's really, really sad. And so he pretty much makes it his goal that he's going to leave heaven and go all the way to hell to bring his wife to heaven. And it's a really, really sad movie. And I'm not going to spoil the ending. But definitely check this out. Along with Five People You Meet in Heaven, those two movies are pretty moving. This one right here is probably my favorite zombie film of all time. It's a George Romero film. It's Day of the Dead. Um, Man, it's very graphic. It's an old movie, and the transfer to the Blu-ray is decent. Um, but yeah, I love the score. It's like synthesizer type music, and it's just a classic. It's a really good movie. It basically these survivors. It's basically at the end of the world, zombie apocalypse, and these survivors go to underground and try to live together and find a cure when there is no cure for the zombie apocalypse. As we all know, in every zombie film, it never works. And yeah, typical ending of any zombie film, which is all right because it's a zombie film. So definitely check that out. This is, and a lot of people are gonna give me hell for this one, but this one's honestly probably my favorite movie uh, that I've ever seen. I don't know, I liked it, and it's only this one, and it's Saw 1, the first one. I just really, really love this movie. It's about a serial killer who basically puts people in situations where they have to act in the extreme, and they realize just how valuable life is. And the movie focuses on two men in particular, and they're both shackled by their ankles to opposite ends of the bathroom, and there's like a dead body in the middle of the room that the guy shot himself, and basically they have to find out who what happened to him, and why they're there, and they find these hacksaws, and so they're like, well, we can't cut through these chains, so these are obviously meant for our feet, and so then I'm not gonna spoil the ending. It's a very, very twisty ending, and I thought Carrie Elwes, who plays the Dr. Gordon in this movie, he did a really good job, and so did the others. And the Jigsaw character, once you find out who it is, it's just like a super twist. Really good. Oh yeah, the sequels. I really didn't like them. The very last one, I think Saw 3D. I liked the ending to it. It kind of brought things full circle, and I really like that. But other than that, I really don't like 2, 3. The ending was okay. 4, hated it. 5, despised it. 6, didn't hate it as much as 5, but I still hated it. It's just drawn out, you know. I thought the ending of Saw 3D should have been put in the ending of Saw 1, or just made sense that way, or part of the ending where I don't know. I'm not gonna give it away. Next one's Let Me In. Um, this one's a really good movie. It's kind of slightly slow, but it's really good. It's about a boy living in an apartment complex, and he meets this girl, and he can't put his thumb on kind of like what her deal is, because he knows there's something different about her, but and as time goes by, he finds out she's a vampire, and yeah, it's just a story about a friendship between a vampire who can't age, and there's this horrifying thing that happened to her when she was younger, and honestly, it's hard to pinpoint what it is, so I'm gonna give that part away. When she was younger, she was actually a boy, and what happened was a vampire entered her room and castrated her, or him, and basically, give him the feminine qualities because he was castrated, and then turned him into a vampire. So he's stuck in this young, you know, um, girlish type youth forever, basically, and it's just like the ultimate, damnation, right? It's just because he's always stuck in this mode of in between genders, and he has to be that way forever. He never enters the plane of adulthood, and really there's no specific gender to the character, which I thought was really good. And basically, when it starts out, she's with, I'll just say she, the vampire. She's with this older man, and what I got from it was that this was a younger boy that she met back earlier, fell in love with, And as he got older, she fell out of love with him because he's older and she's still young. And then so you get the other boy in this movie, and she falls in love with him. And so the old man's down, but he knows his time's coming, and it's really good. Really good ending, and it's really tragic, the ending, because you get a sense of a repeat scenario happening, really. Um, let's see, and the last one I really like is Leon the Professional, starring Jean Reno and Natalie Portman when she was younger. And she's came a long way. She's a really good actress. Basically, in this is a hitman. He's basically the best at what he does, and this family, Natalie Portman's family, gets murdered, and so the hitman takes her under his wing and trains her as an assassin, even though she's so young. And basically, she wants to set out on the drug dealers that killed her family, and it's really good. And yeah, basically, you see a friendship between hitman and girl. It's basically that's like his child he never had, and the ending is really good. Yeah, that's it. That's my top 10 right now. I'm really looking forward to next week. I think Pulp Fiction and Jackie Brown come out on Blu-ray, and I'm definitely going to be picking those up. And if you ever have any questions, just send me a message, and I'll put up a video and answer them all. I am in the Air Force. I've been in for about 3 years, and I've been on 2 deployments, and I'm coming up on my next one next year, and then I'll probably be re-enlisting because I made E5 pretty fast. But yeah, if you have any questions, just message me. I'm going to be putting up more videos on other DVDs I have, Blu-rays I have. My favorite TV series, I'll put that up. My favorite horror films, anything like that, I'll put it up. And yeah, any questions, just let me know. Alright, later.